back to Chicken Creek Customs, and thank you for considering this 1984 Jeep CJ7. So before we get into it, what we're going to do is we've got probably 4 videos. So we're going to do a walk around on the outside. We're going to walk through the interior and what's been done there. Let's take a look at the motor and the drivetrain, and then of course we'll get underneath it as well and show you what's been done there. But before we start, let me tell you a little bit about the history of this Jeep. First of all, we don't usually take other people's projects, but we did in this case. What we found was a father-son combination who'd been working on this for a couple of years. Life got in the way. They needed to get rid of the project. Normally, like I said, we wouldn't take it, but I love Jeeps. My first Jeep that I bought with my own money, brand new, was a 1984, so I'm kind of partial to these vehicles. I've raced these vehicles, and I've owned God knows how many of them. And besides the Scout 800s, these are my favorite trucks to run around in. So this came to us as a partially finished project, and what had been done on it already was they had framed off, they'd gone ahead and cleared everything out, they had gone and repainted all the frame, they reassembled the body after they put paint on it, and then they gave us all the boxes of parts that came with it. It already had gotten the new drivetrain put into it, so we really had 8 or 10 weeks of assembly, wiring, and completing the build. So essentially we went through and assembled everything, figured out what was missing, ordered the additional materials, got all that installed, and we're about to put this on the block. If it's probably going to be on the block by the time this video comes out anyway. So let's do a walk around on the outside first, and let me tell you a little bit about what we got. So as I mentioned, this has fresh paint on it. We got it, hadn't been cut or buffed, so we did go ahead and cut and buff the paint. Now, looking at the paint, it looks really, really good, but when you get up close, you can see there's a lot of spot things in it. My guess is this was either painted in the garage or was painted under an overhang somewhere outdoors. So it's not the best paint job I've seen. It's not one we would do, but you know, from 10 feet, this truck looks really, really good. When you talk about all the other materials, like all the front rings, all new plastic here. The bumpers have been blasted, and then these have been repowder coated, so you've got brand new powder coating on all these. The windshield, I believe the frame is, judging by the small waves in it, this looks to be a plastic frame, or fiberglass frame, which are tons of these things are available. It does have, it looks like new glass in it. You can see a couple of the parts here. We just got in the new wiper blades and the new wiper arms, so we're getting that reassembled, and that's really the last piece that has to be done on this before it's ready to sell. So come on around, we'll walk down this side and I'll show you what else we got. All right, so starting up here, what we've done is we've got all new plastic all the way around. It fits with a lot of the new lighting and things like that. You've got brand new BFGs on this, brand new aluminum rims. And these have all just been balanced in the last 2 weeks, and everything's been put back on, and the steering's been straightened on it. You can see that it does have the original trim pieces that come along the sides. These have been cleaned and rebuffed. We've got new plastic on the back end here as well, and if you want to come around the back here, you can see that along the gate here we've got the hitch that, or the bar that holds the hitch. We actually do have the powder coated swing gate for the rear end. I do have a spare brand new tire and brand new rim still in the box, and those will go with it. So if you like having a rear tire on the back of a Jeep like this, you're welcome to it. It's not my style, so we didn't install it on here. And that's really about it. Now, a couple things like these lights have been refurbed and repurposed. And then coming around this side, pretty much the same thing. The fastest walk around you can make is a Jeep because there just isn't a lot of exterior to it. You can see the brand new plastic. Again, the trim rails have been put in, brand new plastic up here as well, and the new tires and the new rims. So, why don't you come up on that? So next what we're going to do is we're going to jump inside and let's do a walk around on the interior. All right, welcome back, and let's talk about the interior on this 1984 Jeep CJ7. So what we've done is we've maintained the original integrity of the dashboard. A few things have been changed. The first thing you'd note is that this is not an actual original radio. This is a Bluetooth radio. Retro makes them, designed to fit these old trucks so that they look like they're originals. However, you can plug your phone into it, or you can Bluetooth onto it, and you get access to maps and all the modern conveniences of your apps that you would normally want. In addition, we've gone ahead and put new speakers in it. We do have an oil gauge and a heat gauge installed in the front here as well. And these are the original slots where these would have been. Here's your speedometer with all working markers, and speedometer works just fine. And then you have all the standard dash buttons and controls, and all of these work as well. And what we've done here is we've got the tilt steering wheel, and we went ahead and swapped out the turn signal unit inside the steering wheel because it would stick on the lower one. So we went ahead and just put that in new. And then additional to that, we went through and put sound deadening throughout the entire interior. And then we added a premium carpet on top of that as well. So they're really comfortable. It's nice and thick. It prevents the heat and the sound that's going to come with this truck. And then internally, we've got the standard Tuffy box. So this is what you'd normally see people stick in these, is the Tuffy box. It's nice and deep. What we've done in addition is we've also sunk in a voltmeter that also has 2 chargers for your phone, so you can actually use your modern appliances here. And then we've installed air horns in the front end, so we went ahead and put an air horn button right here. Then on top of that, we also have access to the base for the stereo system that can be controlled by this knob here. You've got cup holders and the usual stuff you'd expect. This is a 4-speed, and it's got the 300 transfer case that gives you high 2-wheel, high 4-wheel, and low 4-wheel as well. Now on the seats, you'd normally see the standard cut fold seats in the Jeeps, but good God, I've seen those all my life. So we found these covers and said, hey, we can save a couple $1,000s by not having to do a custom tuck and roll on this truck, so let's buy them and try them out, and maybe they'll actually fit. Well, I'll be honest, they didn't. So what we did was we pulled them off. We love the material and we love the design of them, so we didn't want to toss them. We essentially pulled them back off. We went and added foam in a couple places on these to make them fit up nicer with the actual seat themselves. Then we cut them apart and we added additional fabric underneath so we could still bullnose them to the seat as they normally would be, because a lot of these seat covers you buy, they string tie them at the bottom. We don't like that. So at the end of the day, we wanted these to actually work and operate just like a standard and be waterproof, and they also have the pockets in the back, which is nice. And then you've got the matching rear seat that goes with that. And all of the safety harnesses are all new. So these have all been placed in as well. And they're color matched to the rest of the truck. As we talk about the rest of the stereo system, we do have the speakers in the front that we placed, and then we also found these cool boxes that actually plug into the roll bar cage and don't obstruct as much as the sound boxes you'd normally see stuck in the fronts or stuck in the corners. So these carry an extra set of 6x9s with them. And then if you come all the way to the back here, you're going to see that we also put in a standard bass. It's not huge, but it is contained. So it does have both its own bass and its amp built in from here, and that's all connected out into your sound system, because if you know me, it's got to run, it's got to stop, and it's got to have a killer sound system in it. So anyway, that's the interior on this. We also went ahead and added roll bar padding. These are zip up pads, which are really nice. And then it's got the mandatory bikini top with the skull and crossbones on it, which you probably can't see from the angle that's being shot at, but I put these on all my Jeeps. So did I miss anything on the interior? I don't think so. I think everything else is here. So pretty cool. I love this. So next we're going to take a look at the engine, and we'll talk about why this is a Restomod and not just a restoration. Hey, welcome to the engine portion of the show. So I said that this was a Restomod, but it's an interesting Restomod, and what makes this unique is it's a Restomod using only AMC parts from that era. So one of the things that's unique about this vehicle is when you bought them new, they only had options for like the 6 and I think a 301 or a 3. You could get up, I think, to about a 360 V8 in these vehicles, depending on the model and the type that you got. However, this one's powered by a 401. Now you're saying, well, Dan, Jeep didn't have it available. They actually did, and they had it in the J10s. So a lot of guys would swap their straight 6s and their other 8s for the larger versions, because AMC was one of the only companies that made their engines to actually block in and out of all their vehicles seamlessly. You could take any of the accessories off of your 300 series V8 and drop them onto the 401 and they would fit. It was probably one of the most versatile engine groups that you could buy in that time period. So this does have a brand new 401 in it. It's got a Comp Cam Magnum hydraulic cam in it, flat tappet lifters, Wiseco racing pistons. It's a complete rebuild, and we just changed out the brake-in oil on it, so this has brand new Rotella T in it, and it is amazing. So if you want to get in here a little closer, you'll see underneath what we've got is an Edelbrock 4-barrel that powers it. And you'll get to hear this thing run when we go to the drive video, and we'll fire it up for you. But you are going to love the sound of this thing. It is incredible. As you can see, the entire truck's been rerouted with a painless wiring harness that's been installed. So the engine system is run on its own circuit, and then the rest of it has been done with the painless wiring system. You'll see wads of wire like this that come with the painless system. We opted not to install the tack. This is not a Laredo model. If somebody wants to install tacks and some of the other things that you can put into these harnesses, we've left the wiring here in case they wanted to do that. So they can go ahead and mount those things internally, and then all the wiring is live here and already plugged into the firewall and ready to go. Also has Hedman headers on it. We went ahead and added a custom set of zoomies and made some custom mounts for those as well, because we love the sound of this thing. It just rips and roars. So we'll show those to you when we get to the underside and we do that video and kind of roll through from that. Other than that, everything's brand new battery, brand new 3-core aluminum radiator. Are there some things we do a little bit different? Yeah, I think we probably want to put an overflow tank on this radiator, and maybe some other adjustments throughout, but it's not necessary. This thing runs like a top, and it's just an amazing beast to drive. It's mated to the 177 transmission, which is why it's a 4-speed and not a 3-speed, and then that's tied to the 300 transfer case. Now, one of the other mods that was done to this was a mandatory, and that was the swap axle in the back end. So up to 85, you would get the 2-piece axles, which were shite, to say the least. So AMC made their axles, and they were awful. In 86, they finally went to Dana and got the solid 1-piece. This is a wide track, true track Dana rear end axle that would have come in the 1986. Well, we have that placed in here as well. So you have basically the optimum drive line. If Jeep had gotten it all right before they sold the company, if AMC had gotten it all right, it's all the AMC system with all their best products from each one of the years placed into this drive line. So it's pretty darn cool when you think about it, and it's pretty rare when you think about it from the perspective that all the parts are also directly AMC from that period and rebuilt from that period. So anyway, cool engine, cool drivetrain. We think you're going to love this. So anyway, let's get down to the underside, and we'll do a roll through there and show you what we've done there.
Welcome to the underside portion of the video. So I had mentioned early on that what Mark and his son did was they basically took the entire top off, or the body off of the frame, and redid the frame. So when I was crawling under this, I'm checking for all the things I would have done, and believe me, it all looks like it was done here. So you've got the standard axle that would have come with it. All the hardware has been replaced. The leaves look like new. They've got a really nice arc to them. We've got what appear to be pretty new shocks on this as well, and then all the appropriate cross members. You'll also see up in front here, they've also installed the brace for the steering bracket, or the steering box, which was common in that period. And all the lines throughout here are all brand new to the brakes, and you can see back here you've got the large discs, the large disc brakes here, even though you could probably put another inch on these discs to improve the stopping power of these 35s. But the calipers are huge and all brand new stuff wired into them. You can see that throughout here you'll see spots of red. That's all the new bushings that have been placed in this as well. Underside you can see all still looks like brand new here too. You've got a new drive shaft for the front here. And then the belly pan looks like it's got almost no damage on it at all. And it's been repainted as well to match everything else. So why don't you come around this side here, and we'll show them what else we got back here. Did somebody say zoomies? Because that's what we've got right here. And let me just tell you, they're loud and they're fantastic. So if you don't know what a zoomie is, essentially all we've done is connect a piping system up into the Headman headers. So it bolts on, and we did custom mounts to hold this thing nice and solid. Make sure that if you decide to off-road this thing, these are going to hang on. But essentially what you have is a glass pack, and then you're followed by the legal amount of pipe that's necessary to not get arrested. You can see the frame along the rails here has all been blasted and cleaned. And then of course the yoke, and the yoke doesn't look like it was ever cleaned on the 300, or the paint's chipped off on it, but it does look like the drive shaft is brand new. So if you want to come under here a little bit further with me. So as I mentioned, this has the 1986 wide track on it, and you can see that here. It's got the new drive shaft hooked in, all new hoses, all new wiring, everything brand new back here. Even this gas tank is new, and you can see all the connections, including the emergency brake, and they're all functional as well. So this is a really good job. It's not the spec we might do here, but I'm really happy with what's been done to it, that we didn't have to go back and redo an enormous amount of work on this truck either. So this is pretty darn solid in my mind. Hey, welcome back to the 1984 Jeep CJ7. We're going to run a cold start on it right now, get this thing rocking. You're in pretty close proximity to the zoomies, so you're going to hear this thing fire up. It might be a little bit loud on camera. And then once we have it running, we'll get it warmed up real quick, and then we're going to give you guys a backseat ride and let you see it in action. All right? Hang on.
right, well that concludes our driving video. So if you're interested, obviously you can reach out. We'll have it up on Facebook, we'll have it in the CJ groups, and if we don't have any interest in it, in a couple of weeks we'll probably end up putting it out on BAT. All right? Thanks for checking out Chicken Creek Customs. Hit the follow button, hit the like button, and you can just keep on following some of the builds we're doing. All right? Appreciate it. Thanks.